Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to another episode from Wow Options. So we are starting up with this educational series where we will cover indicators which we think are quite important and which we think are not understood clearly by most people who are trading. So as an initiative to educate people on indicators, our first series today is on MACD. Now, normally, I think most of you know the MACD indicator as, the red line crossing above the blue line and the blue line crossing below the red line, and you take a trade based on that. But I think that is not the only concept of an MACD indicator, right? So there's much more to an MACD indicator, and there are a lot of other things that you can learn or understand from the MACD indicator, right? So this is a humble effort from our end to try and explain to you the various components of MACD indicator and how to look at it from a trading perspective. All right. Now, before we proceed to that, may I request all of you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and also click on the bell icon so that any of our updates that is coming up on YouTube, you can immediately get notified and you can take benefit of it. Okay. Thank you. Now, without wasting much time, let's dig into what is an MACD indicator, right? So MACD indicators, right? I was telling you, right? They are not just a buy and a sell signal that they give you. Apart from that, uh, they give you certain important information about the market, like they tell you when a trend is going to be reversing, right? Because MACD is a trend following indicator. So it tells you when there is going to be a trend reversal. It also helps you identify major breakouts, right? It also, helps you to have a good winning trade because MACD is a trend following indicator, correct? So let's understand what are all the components to an MACD, right? When we talk about an indicator, it is important for us to understand what are all the components to that indicator, right? So when we talk about MACD, as all of you might be knowing, there are basically three lines to the MACD, right? One is the MACD line, then there is a signal line, and there is a histogram, right? So we go into each of them one by one. So the first one that we're going to talk about is the MACD line. So what is an MACD line? It is nothing but the 12-day exponential moving average minus the 26-day exponential moving average. All right. So if I go into the chart, right? I hope you can all see this chart. I've plotted the 12-day moving average and the 26-day moving average here, right? The 12-day moving average is red, the 26-day moving average is in blue. Now the difference between the 12-day moving average and the 26-day moving average, the difference between the prices of these two is the MACD line. So here I have plotted MACD in the indicator. So the blue line, which is the MACD line, right? This is a blue line, which is ticked here as MACD, right? So this blue line is nothing but the difference between the 12-day exponential moving average and the 26-day exponential moving average. So that is the MACD line. Clear, all of you till here? Okay. Now let's go to the next, next component of the MACD indicator, which is called the signal line. Now the signal line is nothing but the 9-day exponential moving average of this MACD, this 12-day minus 26-day. इसका जो 9-day moving average है, exponential moving average है, that is the signal line. Okay, so if I go back to the chart, this red line, which is a signal line, this line, which is a signal line, this red line, it is nothing but the 9-day moving average of this MACD. Okay, 9-day moving average of this MACD. Okay, clear so far? Now the third component to the MACD indicator is the histogram. Now the histogram is nothing but the MACD minus the signal line. So if I go back here, these bars, these are the histograms. The pink color bars, see the pink color bars, right? These are the histograms. Now you may find it in different colors in your different, in your different charting platforms. But then you can just go here and see what each of them signifies. So you will know. Some of them show it as shading. Some of them show as small bars, right? So here in investing.com, these are just lines, right? Small lines that are there. So this is the histogram. And the histogram is nothing but the difference between these two. Clear till here? Got it? These are the components of MACD. Okay. Now let's go and understand how does MACD help us, right? So now when we go back to this chart, right, the higher the longer or the broader these histogram is, the trend is strong. That means the trend is strong. As long as the histogram is in this kind of upward trend, it is going up, like this is a small one, this is bigger, bigger, bigger. This shows that the trend is strong. The moment the histogram starts to come down, as in the moment these bars start becoming weaker or smaller, it tells you that the trend is weak. So basically, the histogram helps you understand how strong the trend is. So if I look at this trend, right, from here till here, the upward trend. See here, till here, the candles are big candles, right? The candles are all big. So it tells you that the momentum is towards the stronger side. It is strong. The uptrend is strong. Now, the moment you reached this portion, right? The moment you reach this area, see this area. The moment you reach this area, see how the the histogram started to weaken. So it tells you that the trend has become weak, right? So the histogram in the MACD helps you identify whether the ongoing trend is strong or weak. Now, if you also see, right, there is also a distance between these two lines, right? Now, the further the distance, the stronger the trend will be. You will get good upward move. As as much as this difference is bigger, you will get a big trending upward move. The moment the distance starts to get smaller, your move gets weakened. You have your trend is sort of dying out. It is this, the trend is sort of, you can say it is sort of fading out, and you can get a probable reversal, right? So going back to my slide, we talked about MACD. How is it helping you for reversal? So the MACD histogram tells you whether the trend, MACD histogram and this difference between these two lines, this tells you whether the trend is strong or weak, right? So here, when you go with a strong upward trend, and when you reach a resistance point, right? When you reach a resistance point in a strong upward trend, when you reach a resistance point, that is when you need to look for a rejection candle based on price action. Price action is ultimate. Price action is important. All of you should know how to read based on price action. So if there is a rejection in a strong upward trend, if there is a rejection which your MACD is telling you that there is a, the trend is weakening, then based on this rejection, right? Based on this rejection, you will get a similar, reverse move. So in this case, the first move is an upward trend. It is going towards its resistance. It took its resistance here. Your MACD shows that it is a very strong upward move, and it took a resistance here. So you play on this resistance and you get a downward move based on this, because the MACD tells you that the trend is weakening, right? So if I take one more example, if I look at Nifty maybe, right? If I look at Nifty, yeah, so this is Nifty, right? So Nifty, this was the trend, the resistance that was there in Nifty. This is the resistance that was there in Nifty. So if you see here, right, this up move had very good momentum in terms of trend. There was good trend. The moment it reached its resistance, see the trend, the good upward move or the trend that was there started whistling out, right? It started dying out. And you get a rejection here, then you can trade based on the rejection and you get a similar downward move with the same amount of furious move that it was towards the upside, the same type of furious move you get towards the downward side. Clear? So this is how you identify a trend using MACD, and you play the reversal using MACD, right? So the MACD, when the market is moving towards a support or a resistance, and the histogram shows a proper momentum, right? And the moment the momentum is dying out, when it is close by to the support or resistance, you can look for a price action and you can take a reversal trade. So this is how an MACD helps you in, figuring out a reversal. Clear? Now let's go to the second point, how MACD will help you. Now we talked about the higher time frame MACD line, right? So if the higher time frame MACD line crosses the signal line, so if I go to this, right? So the higher time frame MACD line is the blue line, right? If it crosses the signal line, so here, see, it crosses the signal line. So whenever the higher time frame MACD line crosses the signal line, whenever there is a higher time frame MACD line crosses the signal line, you can say that we are in an uptrend. This is what we normally do. This is how we trade normally using MACD. Similarly, when the the lower time frame, whenever it crosses down the whenever there is a crossover to the downward side, we say that there is a downward trend. This is what we normally know, right? So if a higher time frame MACD line crosses above the signal line, then you go long. If a higher time frame MACD line crosses below the signal line, you have a short bias. Now, based on this view, this is something that all of us know. This is something that all of us trade upon. Now, based on this, right, you also know what is the trend in the market. So, how do you look at the trend? Suppose you are taking a trade based on daily. Okay, suppose you're taking a trade based on daily. What you need to do is you need to go into the weekly time frame and understand the trend based on MACD, and you take a trade in the same direction. Okay, so let me come back to this chart. Okay, so right now, suppose I'm looking at a chart on a daily time frame, right? Suppose I'm looking at a chart on a daily time frame. The daily time frame has given me a signal here wherein there is a crossover. My blue line, which is the MACD line, is crossing over my signal line, right? My blue line is crossing over my signal line, which means my daily time frame, my trend here is slightly bullish. Why slightly? Because my histogram is yet not confirmed. So my trend here is slightly bullish on my daily time frame, right? Now let's go back to the weekly time frame. Now, if you look at weekly time frame, is there a trend reversal yet on my weekly time frame? It is strongly bearish. If you see, my weekly time frame trend is strongly bearish because my signal line, my MACD line is below my signal line, correct? My MACD line is below my signal line and my histogram is strongly bearish, correct? So when my higher time frame here, which is weekly, says it is bearish, so in my daily also I look for sell trades, right? In my daily also I look for sell trades. So my trend in daily is bearish based on my weekly trend, right? So my lower time frame will follow the higher time frame trend. So my weekly is still bearish. It's not yet bullish, and neither has my histogram sort of weakened. My bearish trend is yet not weakened. So in my daily trend, if it is bearish, weekly trend, if it's bearish, in my daily trend, I do not go and trade a bullish, crossover. I wait for reversals. Now, if you see here, we were at a reversal. We were at a, resistance area. We were at a resistance, and you get a reversal here and you take the reversal trade. Clear? Similarly, if you're looking at a daily time frame, now if you look at a daily time frame, if your daily time frame shows, so let's go here. So if your daily time frame here shows a strong buy, in your hourly time frame, you need to look for buys. You follow the trend of the next, bigger time frame. So if I go back to the time frames, if you're trading daily, you look at the MACD for weekly to understand the trend. If you are trading a 4-hourly, you look at your daily for a reversal in trend. And if you're trading an hourly, you look for your 4-hourly or daily for a reversal in trend. Okay, so basically MACD helps you understand what is the bigger trend in the market. Clear? I hope this is clear. Okay, now, okay, So now, so what are all the things that that the MACD helped you with? MACD, number one, it helped you identify what is a momentum that is there, whether there is momentum that is there. It helped you identify the trend. Okay, what is the larger trend in the market? Now, it also helps you identify the breakouts, right? There is one more thing that it helps you identify, which is breakouts. So let's go back to the chart. Okay. Now, if I go back to the chart, okay, say if I go to a daily time frame, right? So we are on Nifty. Okay, let's go to say ICICI Bank. There are some instances when the market consolidates, right? Sometimes you are unable to understand that the market is consolidating. There could be some instances where the market is consolidating and you do not have a clear picture as to what is happening. So basically, your MACD also helps you understand when there is a consolidation in the market, right? So when there is we talked about the histogram wherein it supports the trend, and there is a distance between these two lines when it supports the trend. Now there will be instances like say this, okay? There will be instances like this, see, where your histograms are not very very large. So better than this would be, say, let's take another example, maybe Kotak. Is this the example I wanted to show you? Give me a minute. Okay, so see, there will be some instances where it will be something like this. If you can see here, there is no very small bars that is there, right? There are not a clear, there is no clear indication as to where the trend is. If you see your signal line and MACD line also, they are not having this distance that they had, right? When it broke out, you have a distance here, or when it broke out here, you have a distance between them. Here, if you see, the histogram is also quite small. The histogram is also quite small. This also is not giving you an indication. So if you look at this price in this area, right, this is also not going anywhere, right? This is also in a range, right? This price is also in a range. Only when it broke out of this range is when your histogram and your MACD both gave you a clear view of move. Both gave you a clear move only when it broke out of these two, right? So based on this MACD, you can also understand whether, you know, whether it is consolidating, whether the prices are consolidating. Unless they break out of that consolidation level, it is better you avoid the trades, right? So just apart from just looking at the signal line for buy and sell, we learned three things today from MACD. One is we understood that the MACD helps you understand the momentum and take a reversal if when you get a very strong good momentum towards the support or towards the resistance. So you look for a clear cut price action, and if it supports you in your price action when the prices move towards the support or resistance with a strong momentum, if you get a reversal, you can trade the reversal based on MACD. MACD also helps you understand the trend. You can define the trend of different time period and accordingly take a trend following trade. The third thing that then MACD also helps you understand is if there is any consolidation that is happening, the MACD also helps you identify the consolidation and take a trade only when it comes out of the consolidation, right? So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope it gave you a completely new perspective to look at MACD, just apart from, the trade where you go, wherein it gives you a crossover and you take a trade. Just apart from that, I hope you got a new perspective to understand how to use MACD. Thank you very much for watching this video. I have shared with you our email ID, our Telegram ID and Twitter ID. Please do join us on all these platforms. Also, please do like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And in case you want us to make a video on any other indicator that you're looking at, please do give us your comment and we will try and make a video on that. Even based on this, if you have any doubts, please feel free to comment to us and we will revert back to you. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.